counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to.
Welcome everybody to another episode of BWT, and today we will be talking about the AL West, the entire AL West, and then it will be broken down into segments. And yeah, let's make sure that we are showing the other shows on the network some love. We got RBO, CTC, FFC, In the Red Corner, Dave's Doghouse, and of course, you got King's Talk with Joe Jordan, and of course the main show, Refuse to Lose. Make sure you guys are liking this video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel, and also make sure that you guys are sharing this to any of your friends that are baseball fans, either A's fans, Angels, Mariners, Rangers, or Astros. Make sure you guys share it. We are live now on YouTube, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. So we'll get started with the Athletics. Terrible season, just terrible. They finished 50 and 112 to be last in the AL West, and it was also probably the worst record in Major League Baseball. The highlight of their season was being approved to move out of Oakland and into LA. That's not Las Vegas. That is not going to happen until 2028. It was voted unanimously throughout all of the owners in the MLB. Some fans don't want to see them leave, which is surprising, because the fans wouldn't show up to the ballpark. They just wouldn't show up to the ballpark. Every game that, every highlight that I saw of any A's game, the A's stadium was empty, right? Fans just weren't there, and now there are people that want them to stay in Oakland, which is, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think it'll be good for them to get out of Oakland and give Vegas a team. It will give them more of an atmosphere, a better atmosphere to play in, probably a better stadium, and the fans will probably be more engaged with the game of baseball because they're already there, right? And who doesn't love baseball? Their only bright spot was Esteury Ruiz. He batted .254 with 5 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 67 stolen bases. which was second in major leagues behind the NL MVP Ronald Acuna Jr. And also they had Shane Langeliers. He batted 205 with 22 home runs and 63 RBIs. Other than that, everybody else was just terrible. The only good thing that I can say about the A's now is that they don't play on a football field, right? The Raiders and the A's don't share the stadium. So when you go to an A's game, there's not the football lines, the yard markers, and stuff like that all on the field. That's the only good thing I can say. Their uniform is the I don't like the combination of the green and the yellow. That's just me. Um, but let's get into the free agents of the season. We had Alex Wood. He signed with the A's. Scott Alexander signed with the A's. Tyler Gott signed with the A's. Tony Kemp is a free agent. Drew Pazinski is a free agent, and Carlos Perez is also a free agent. They need just about everything but a center fielder because, again, that is where Esteury Ruiz played, and that was their shining light in a very, very dark room. I think they go out and re-sign Tony Kemp. They sign Jonathan Scope to play second base, and they also go and sign Corey Dickerson. That's it on the A's because I'm not going to waste too much time on them. They'll be, like I said again, they will be gone out of Oakland in 2028. And maybe with I saw that they're bringing in new uniforms and a new stadium and stuff like that. So maybe that gives the team a little bit more juice. Their over-under right now for next year is 56.5. I like the under on that. But I don't really suggest betting on the A's at all. But if your team is going up against the A's, take them. Usually you're going to have some success with that. Now we go on to the Los Angeles Angels. 73-89 record to be fourth in the American League West. The big story for them, of course, is losing the unicorn Shohei Ohtani in free agency. He carried them most of the way, doing the best that he could to potentially make the playoffs, which they couldn't get to. They made a bunch of moves at the trade deadline to try to give the team a little boost, but ultimately they could not stay healthy. Mike Trout was gone for he tried to get back towards the end of the season. He was there for like a week, and then he got hurt again within like 2-3 games of him playing, and then they shut him down for the season. Anthony Rendon, he has been a thief. Like, straight up, just committing robbery. His past 4 years, 52, 58, 47, and 43 games played in an 162 regular game season. And that was after signing that fat contract, 7 years, $245 million. That comes out to $35 million a year. Right? He signed that after his year with the Nationals, winning the World Series, and he has not been he's not been the same. He just can't stay on the field, and now you see videos of him going to spring training saying he really doesn't care. It's not a priority to show up. His family is a priority and stuff like that. I'm not really going to touch too much on that, but all I want to say is Rendon I hope you can stay healthy, because if healthy, you are a good player, right? I feel like you can help this team get a couple wins. Not too many, because again, they're the Angels, and they just haven't had any type of success, right? They've only made the playoffs one time in Mike Trout's career, and in that one time, they got swept. So there has not been any success. Speaking of Mike Trout, he only played 119 games last year. He batted 263 with 18 home runs and 44 RBIs. Zach Neto, a rookie shortstop, he was very good defensively. Offensively, kind of still is getting used to the game. He batted 225 with 9 home runs and 35 RBIs. Luis Rengifo, second baseman, he batted 264 with 16 home runs and 54 RBIs. Brandon Drury batted 262 with 26 home runs and 83 RBIs. And the unanimous MVP, Shohei Ohtani, doing the carrying of this squad throughout the entirety of the season. There was one day that there was a doubleheader against the Tigers. He pitched the first game, threw a complete game shutout, and then in the second game, he came out, smacked 2 home runs, and then he was pulled early because after the second home run, he was holding his back and he was tight, so that didn't really help. He batted 304 with 44 home runs and 95 RBIs, and he actually got shut down early. I don't know how long he was pitching with a torn UCL, but it had to be like a month at least, because some of the starts he just was not himself, command wise, velocity wise, and he would always get hurt. Right, I remember I had put in a money line ticket. Well, not a money line ticket. I called it an Ohtani ticket. Right, I would put him to hit a home run, strike out at least like 7 guys. Um, hit for an RBI, and also score a run. Right, I did that every single time that Ohtani went on the mound, because who knows, right? It can happen. I remember one day I came really close, right, and all I needed was one more strikeout, and Ohtani brings out his translator and with the coaches, and he's just holding his fingernail, right? And I guess the announcers were like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna come out because his fingernail hurts or whatever." So I mean, that just tells you how lucky I was with that ticket the entire season. It did not hit one time, so that's that. The free agents that the Angels had this year, Ohtani, of course, signing with the Dodgers for that humongous contract, 10 years, $700 million. Most of it was deferred. They signed Robert Stevenson. They signed Matt Moore. They signed Luis Garcia. Randall Grichuk signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. CJ Cron became a free agent. Aaron Luke became a free agent. Gio Urshela became a free agent, who just signed today with the Detroit Tigers for a year, 1.5 mil. So, Carl, you got a good one. Jared Walsh became a free agent, which is kind of crazy to me, because he was playing pretty well these past couple seasons. If you play MLB, you know that his card is goated. His swing is just phenomenal. Aaron Hicks, he signed there. Adam Simber signed. Zach Plesac also signed with the Angels this year. Their team needs are pitcher and catcher. Well, pitching and catcher. I predict them going out and getting Mike Zunino, re-signing CJ Cron, signing Matthew Boyd, signing Brad Keller, and also signing Jack Odorizzi. Um, and they also went out and got a new manager, Ron Washington, right? If you are a fan of baseball, you know exactly who this guy is. He's been with the Braves for the past, I believe, 4 or 5 seasons. Um, if you're an infielder, you know who this guy is because he's worked with Ozzie Albies and the rest of the infielders on the Atlanta Braves team, and they have nothing but great things to say about this guy. Um, he is he's a guy that's going to bring that positive energy every single time that they go out there. Um, and I also believe that he's got the confidence in his team. He's been part of success, so he knows what it takes to get to where everybody in the MLB wants to get to, which is the World Series and ultimately winning the World Series. So I believe that gives them a boost. His introductory press conference, he came out and said that the AL West is going to be theirs. So if you're listening to Ron Washington talk, um, I mean, he's exactly what you want as a player, right? He's going to be a player's coach, a guy that instills endless amount of confidence in his players and his squad, knowing that the work that was put in should be enough to get to their ultimate goal. Right? That's enough about the Angels. Let's get into the Seattle Mariners. Right? They finished 88-74 with that was good enough to be third in the AL West. They were in contention throughout the entire season. They had their ups and downs. They got hot around the All-Star break. I feel like that was kind of it. It created a buzz in the city because the All-Star game was in Seattle, right? They had all the events like the home run derby, the celebrity softball game. They had all the fans coming out. They had their little campaign of trying to get Otani to come to town, just like everybody did every time that Otani stepped in to their stadium. Uh, and they just couldn't get it done, right? They were, like I said, they were in it until the around like the last week of the season, right? This AL West was one of the tightest races in baseball. Everybody else had like a 5-6 game lead. This came down to the record head to head against each other. The next two guys, next two teams. Um, they made some good trades in the offseason, acquiring Jorge Polanco from the Twins, letting go of Jared Kelenic, which I mean it was a move that had to be done. Um, but I feel like they did that not knowing that Teoscar Hernandez was not going to re-sign with them. He was a free agent. He went out and signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers, again deferring money. And today they played the spring training game, and his first at bat was a ground rule double with the bases loaded. So he looks ready to go. I feel like this will be a year that they get over that hump, right? Julio Rodriguez, one of the top players in this league, uh, he had a season where people said that it was a sophomore slump. Um, I wouldn't say it was a sophomore slump. I mean, I guess if you're holding him to a very, very high standard, he slumped, but batting 275 with 32 home runs and 103 RBIs and 37 stolen bases, and being a candidate for a Gold Glove Award in center field, I don't believe that's a slump season. That is a season to build off of, right? Um, this kid, man, he's got. I watched an interview the other day. He was out there saying that no disrespect to any reporters that were in the room, but nobody wants to see Julio Rodriguez succeed more than Julio Rodriguez, right? Because you got the fans that want to see him succeed just for the hype and him being the face of the team and stuff like that. But he holds himself to a high standard, right? So maybe you can say that he slumped. But this year, this was a very good year, man. There's not many MLB players that can bat 275, 32 home runs, 103 RBIs, right? And if you were paying attention to him during he had like a week and a half where he was the hottest player on the planet, right? There was pitchers that could not get him out. He went on a streak of just, I think it was like 15 hits and like in 5 games or something like that. It was something ridiculous, right? I don't have the exact stats, but he was on fire. And then you had J.P. Crawford, shortstop. He batted 266 with 19 home runs and 65 RBIs. Ty France batted 250 with 12 home runs and 58 RBIs. Kyle Raleigh batted 232 with 30 home runs and 75 RBIs. And then you get into the pitching staff, which kind of let them down this year, right? They're 4 guys. Luis Castillo was the ace of the rotation. He went 14 and 9, with a 3.34 ERA, 197 innings pitched, and 219 strikeouts. Don't know why I got that confused. Sorry about that. You had Matt Brash go 9-4 with a 3.06 ERA, 70.2 innings pitched, and 107 strikeouts. And you had Logan Gilbert. He went 13-7 with a 3.73 ERA, 190.2 innings pitched, and 189 strikeouts. And George Kirby went 13-10 with a 3.35 ERA, 190.2 innings pitched as well, with 172 strikeouts. If you were watching George Kirby this season, you see that he has some good stuff. And there was also a time it was late in the season. They were going on their run to try to make a push to get into the postseason. He was standing on the mound, and a ball just came from the stands and hit him while he was standing on the mound. It was very weird. I still don't know if they ever found the person that did that or anything like that, but he looked quite confused when it happened. I hope that doesn't happen again because he could have gotten hurt, right? It hit him like in the chest. If it was a little higher, it could have damaged his face, and he could have missed some time. So luckily he didn't. The free agents that left the team are Teoscar Hernandez, like I mentioned earlier, going to the Dodgers. Tom Murphy signed with the San Francisco Giants. And they went out and signed Austin Voth and catcher Mitch Garver from the World Series champion Texas Rangers. I believe their team needs some relief help. And to fill that hole, I think they go out and get Ryan Stanek. He was a pitcher on the Houston Astros. So he knows what it, again, like getting guys that know what it takes to get to the ultimate stage is very key to your clubhouse. The little things, right? They'll know exactly what to do. They'll guide your young guys on the team to do what they have to do to get to that level. I believe that, again, like I said earlier, I believe that this is a good year for them. I don't think they get third in the AL West. I think it's tough because these next 2 teams are top teams in the league. One of them won the World Series this year, right? Um, but I think the Mariners, they deserve it. The fans deserve it. They've been waiting for a long time to see their team succeed in the postseason, and this is the year. Now we're on to the Rangers, World Series champion, Texas Rangers. They finished 90-72 to be second in the American League West. They were kind of an underdog story, right? They lost the division in the last game of the season. Um, they went out and got Bruce Bochy, which was huge for them. Again, having the veteran guys that have been there before, right? If you know Bruce Bochy, he was the manager of the San Francisco Giants when they were on their dynasty run when they won 3 of 5 early in the 2010s, around there. And again, he knew the little things that had to be done to get to the ultimate stage and ultimately get the job done. He was sitting on his couch when he got the call from Chris Young, owner of the Texas Rangers, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come? Coach this team?" And Bruce Bochy agreed, and the story wrote itself. World Series champions. They made some big free agency acquisitions last year, and they also made key trades at the deadline to help the pitching staff. Right? They went out and got Nathan Eovaldi last year in free agency. They went out and got Jordan Montgomery. They went out at the trade deadline. They also went out and got Max Scherzer, and they also went out and got Aroldis Chapman. And then they had spectacular seasons offensively from these key players. Adolis Garcia batted .245 with 39 home runs and 107 RBIs. He was one of the hottest hitters on the planet during the postseason. Corey Seager, World Series MVP, smooth operator himself, batted .327, 33 home runs, and 96 RBIs. Marcus Semien batted .276 with 29 home runs and 100 RBIs. And the year before last, they went out and got Corey Seager and Marcus Semien in the same offseason. They spent a boatload of money. Everyone was like, damn, these guys are crazy. Why are they doing that? They're not going to compete for any long time. Why did these guys sign over there? And it paid off. They came, they got the job done. In the second year of them being teammates, Semien came off an incredible season, hitting 50 home runs in Toronto. Corey Seager was a World Series MVP in Los Angeles, World Series champion. And then Nathaniel Lowe batted .262 with 17 home runs and 82 RBIs. Jonah Heim batted .258 with 18 home runs and 95 RBIs. And Nathan Eovaldi went 12-5 with a 3.63 ERA, 144 innings pitched, and 132 strikeouts. And he was unhittable in the postseason. There was only one game that he looked kind of human, looked like he came down to earth, but man, oh man, was he dominant. He was just dominant in the postseason. It was very, very fun to watch. And of course, seeing him as an ex-Yankee, just go out there and be dominant. It's always fun watching ex-Yankees going out there and winning. Shout out to Jordan Montgomery, Nathan Eovaldi, Aroldis Chapman. You guys are all ex-Yankees, and now you guys get to call yourselves World Series champions. The free agents that they had leave the team are Mitch Garver, who signed with the Mariners, Aroldis Chapman signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Martin Perez signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. Jordan Montgomery is still a free agent. Don't know how that's possible because he was one of the key pieces in that rotation during the postseason and the World Series. Austin Hedges signed with the Cleveland Guardians. And then they went out and got Tyler Mahle, Kirby Yates, and Andrew Knitzer, I think his name is. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but or Andrew Knitzer, or I don't know. But their team needs are health, right? A couple guys that I did not mention in their key roles are Jacob DeGrom and Max Scherzer, right? If you've been following baseball, you know those names. These guys are veterans. These guys have been at the top of the league pitching wise, and of course DeGrom was ruled out early in the season. It's tough for that guy. I feel bad for him. I picked him to win the Cy Young in the beginning of the year. I thought he was going to have a crazy bounce back season, but it didn't work out. But he now gets to call himself a World Series champion, even though he didn't play in the postseason at all, or he didn't play much at all. But he gets to put that on his resume. He gets a ring, all that. And Max Scherzer as well. I think these guys are going to be available around mid-June, early July. So the Rangers are going to have to pick up some of the slack. Their offense is going to have to pick up some slack because their pitching rotation is not going to be as great as it was in the beginning of the season last year. They still have John Gray. They still have Nathan Eovaldi, who's going to be the ace of this team, right? When he signed, he was probably, in his mind, going to be a number 2 guy. But now he's the ace of the squad because DeGrom is not there due to injury. But I believe once he comes back, those two will be a crazy 1-2 punch. Don't want to be hitters on those 2 days. Hopefully, if the Yankees play them, it's when they're pitching their 3, 4, 5 guys in the rotation and not the 1 and 2, because those guys are extremely dominant. I feel like these guys are in very good position to repeat. Very good position. They brought back a majority of the team. It's all young guys, right? And you saw in the press conferences after they won the World Series, they were all about the team. Right? They didn't care. Corey Seager, he didn't care if he won World Series MVP. Simeon, he just wanted to see his team. He just wanted his team to succeed, right? And they follow Bruce Bochy. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. Nathaniel Lowe came out and said that no matter what was going on, Bruce Bochy was the same. There was no emotions based off of the activity on the field, right? So that is huge. Me as a coach, I'm going to have to start implementing that in my game, because sometimes I can get too high and I can get too low, but I need to realize that these players are looking up to me, and if I'm like, damn, we got to do better and stuff like that, they'll probably get down on themselves. And if I'm like extremely high, then they'll get up with me. But in this game, it's a very humbling game, right? You can come up and hit a grand slam, and then your next at bat, you can just look at three fastballs right down the middle and just strike out. And now you have to walk back to the dugout, and you're like, what? So this game is a very humbling game. So I think it was huge for them to sign Bruce Bochy, and his even keeled manner is great for the Rangers. Now we're on to the Houston Astros. Did anybody get a buzz? Did anybody get a buzz? Did you get a buzz? I kind of felt a buzz here when I mentioned the Houston Astros. Maybe a garbage can was being punched or something like that. Or, but they also finished 90-72 to be first in the American League West. They lost in the ALCS to the Rangers. That was a great series. Went Game 7. Phenomenal. Those two teams went at it. It was great to watch as a baseball fan. And the Astros, they've been one of the top teams in the league for 5 to 7 years now. It's kind of annoying, right? It's kind of annoying. Of course, they had their little cheating scandal. And some people think that they should be punished more for that. Some people think that what they got done to them was like a slap on the wrist. And I've even heard talks of Jose Altuve when he gets mentioned for the Hall of Fame, right? His numbers, phenomenal. Great player. But does him being tied to the cheating scandal affect his Hall of Fame status? Right? I believe that it should. Right? You have Pete Rose, one of the best hitters, one of the best players in this game's history, not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame because he was gambling. Right? You've got Barry Bonds, one of the best hitters to ever play this game, not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame because he was doing steroids. Roger Clemens, one of the best pitchers in this game, not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame because of steroids. Right? We just saw Gary Sheffield not get inducted into the Hall of Fame because he was cheating the game and using steroids. So, I mean, if guys like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, it's just endless amount of guys that should be in. And that's a topic for another day because I can go on and on for that. I've got a couple guys one guy that actually got in. I don't think he should have gotten in. But yeah, like you've got Alex Rodriguez, he should have gotten in. Manny Ramirez, one of the most feared hitters of our time, right? Should have gotten into the Hall, but he's not because they are attached to cheating the game and using steroids, right? The Astros took cheating to a whole nother level, using buzzers and smashing trash cans, right? And I feel like that should be connected to Jose Altuve when we talk about his Hall of Fame status. He hit .311 with 17 home runs and 51 RBIs. He was also hurt for like a good month and a half of the season. That's why his numbers aren't so crazy. You know that he is a top player in this league. He also just signed an extension this offseason. Yordan Alvarez batted .293 with 31 home runs and 97 RBIs. Alex Bregman, pay attention to him the entire season, right? This season will be huge for him. He's going into his free agency season, and I don't know what they're going to do. Of course, they should re-sign him. They should give him an extension. It should have already been done before you even get to the contract expiring, in my opinion, because I've watched Alex Bregman for a very long time, since he was in college. He was one of my favorite players to watch when he was at LSU, making behind the back plays, hitting bombs, and he was at short, right? And he came to the league, became a third baseman, and he's always been one of my favorite players to watch, right? If you have a chance, look up his YouTube video from college, or just listening to that guy talk about hitting is amazing. He's a pro, right? There's a reason why he goes out there and does what he does with his small frame, because he actually understands the art of hitting. And I take little things that he talks about, I implement it to the teams that I coach, right? So pay attention to him. He batted .262 with 25 home runs and 98 RBIs. Jeremy Pena, he batted .263 with 10 home runs and 52 RBIs. He's been kind of wishy-washy ever since he won that World Series MVP, right? The first year they got rid of Carlos Correa. They let him walk to the Twins in free agency. They brought Jeremy Pena. They go win the World Series. His replacement wins the World Series MVP. I'm expecting big things out of this kid, and it's not what I'm expecting at all. I need more. Need more, Jeremy. Kyle Tucker batted .284 with 29 home runs and 112 RBIs. He's a freak. Christian Javier went 10-5 with a 4.56 ERA, 162 innings pitched, and 159 strikeouts. Jose Abreu was a piece that they signed in free agency. Batted .237 with 18 home runs and 90 RBIs. It took a little bit of time for him to find his home run swing, but once he found it, he started getting accustomed to being a piece in the offense and not the offense that he was in Chicago with the White Sox. Justin Verlander, he pitched with the Astros, then he went to the Mets in free agency, and then at the trade deadline came back to the Astros. He went 13-8 with a 3.22 ERA, 162.1 innings pitched, and 144 strikeouts. Framber Valdez went 12-11 with a 3.45 ERA and 198 innings pitched and 200 strikeouts. Another team where I think their needs are straight health, right? Like I said earlier, they have been at the top of the chain for quite some time. They know what it takes. But a key part is going to be missing on that bench. And it's the guy who calls the shots. Dusty Baker is no longer there, right? So good luck to them this season, but not too much, because, again, I'm a Yankee fan. Don't want to see these Astros succeed at all. They went out and got Josh Hader to boost their back end of the pitching staff. Victor Caratini, a catcher. Michael Brantley, retired. Hector Neris signed with the Cubs. Martin Maldonado signed with the White Sox. And a free agent is Ryan Stanek, who I had going to the Seattle Mariners. That's just my prediction. Nothing has been signed yet. I don't believe this team really needs too much. They just need to, again, be able to be out on the field and compete every day. I think that they are They're a solid team. Been there before. They know what it takes. Again, it's huge knowing what it takes to get to the big stage and ultimately finishing the job. As my boy RBO Vaughn would say, finish the job. That's what it's all about, right? Um, the AL West is going to be fun. AL West is going to be fun this off season, this upcoming season. There are 3 teams that can win that division, right? I don't know where they're going to end up at the end of the year. If you want to find out where I think that they will finish, make sure you tune in next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. I have some guests coming on. I have Dave, Carl, and Jovan coming on, and we are going to predict the standings of this upcoming year. We'll be live Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, so when I go live, you get that notification. Make sure you like this video, comment on this video, share it to any of your friends that are baseball fans, and let me know what you guys think down below as far as AL West drama, I guess you can say. That was fun, man. The entire offseason was crazy. It is over. We had our first spring training game today. Dodgers absolutely dominated the Padres. It was over in the first inning before the Dodgers can even get out. If that's an indication on what they're going to be doing this season with all the moves that they made, it's going to be scary. And Otani didn't even play today. So, or Freeman. So, it's just, like I said, it's going to be scary. It's going to be fun to watch, man. Make sure you guys are subscribed again. I'll be dropping videos talking about baseball throughout the entire year, right? Mainly focusing on my Yankees, but I will also get any top stories. We're gonna get web gems on here. We're gonna get home runs on here. We're gonna do it all, right? So make sure you guys are tuning in to BWT, and also make sure you guys are tuning into all the other shows on the Refuse to Lose network. We've got RBO, got CTC, we've got FFC, In the Red Corner, Dave's Doghouse, King's Talk with Joe Jordan. And then, of course, you cannot forget the main show, Refuse to Lose, right? We're giving you guys all the sports content that you need. Make sure you guys are clicking the link in the description to become a member. You get different perks. You can join the chats where we have endless debates every single day. We've got NFL chat, we've got a MLB chat, we've got an NBA/WNBA chat, we've got a college basketball, men's and women's chat, we have a college football chat, we have a combat chat, which is a combination of boxing, UFC, and WWE. We also have a parlay chat for all you gamblers and a gaming chat. So anybody that games, get in there and we can link up and get on the game together, right? So we've got it all. We like Tomo said, we are the Whole Foods of sports entertainment. So make sure you guys don't miss anything this upcoming season with baseball. I'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Peace.